We have some breaking news. Ghislaine Maxwell's emails have been apprehended. These are emails that she is sending from the low security prison that Donald Trump's Department of Justice sent her to as a reason to probably keep her silent about the things that she knows about Donald Trump. We also are now learning that Epstein emails there are more of them and they are going to be released. And I have more reporting that says that the stuff that the Department of Justice is going to release is either going to be heavily redacted or just totally wiping Donald Trump's name from it. Let's first get into these Ghislaine Maxwell emails that are just, I think, abhorrent. This is just a little bit of what it says. It says she revels in the privileges she's been granted since being transferred to a new facility by Donald Trump's Department of Justice, and she expresses optimism about one day being freed. While telling family of her improved condition, she remarks that Croatia is one of her favorite vacation destinations. Among the ebullient expressions that appear in the disgraced British socialite's messages, mostly to her siblings and to one of her lawyers, Yippee Skippy about her brother's upcoming visit. I hear you are a media star, in reference to another sibling publicly defending her, and quote, it gladdens the cockles of my heart when she heard from an old friend. These are a dozen of emails that are part of a cache of communications that a nurse at a facility provided to the Democrats in the House Judiciary Committee. Let's just go through a little bit more of these. She is receiving visitors privately in the prison chapel instead of in the regular visitation space, we've learned. Her lawyer has gained authorization from the warden to bring in private electronic equipment, and her legal team has had access to drinks and snacks while working with her. Her privileges extend to more intimate needs, whereas other inmates receive just 2 rolls of toilet paper a week and need to either buy more or resort to paper towels when they run out. Maxwell has received a special supply. Her access to communications appears uninterrupted even when the prison's main phone lines are down. In August, her brother marveled that they could, quote, virtual real-time communication. So, I mean, there's more of this. We're going to go through it, but clearly this is someone who, in this article, it says that she was in a prison where there were possums falling from the sky, and now she's in a prison where she is offered as much toilet paper as she wants. She can be on the phone for as long as she wants, and she's being offered snacks while talking to her lawyers. I wonder why the Trump administration decided to make this move. Could it be that she has information on the pedophile president who's currently in the Oval Office? I don't know. Let's keep going. Among other things, the inmates' emails suggest Hall provided Maxwell with secretarial services. This is one of the wardens. When a problem with mail arose in September, as Maxwell worked to find a way out of jail, the warden came up with what the inmate called, quote, a creative solution. Her attorney could scan documents and email them directly to the warden, quote, and she will scan back my changes. The following month, Maxwell was typing away late one Sunday. She was wading through attachments and she was, quote, struggling to keep it all together. She wrote in an email with the subject line, quote, commutation application, suggesting that her team was preparing a direct appeal to Trump. Again, why would a warden be giving all of this free labor to an inmate? Just defies logic, doesn't it? Now, Doug Murphy, a prominent Houston-based attorney, likened the warden's solicitousness with Maxwell to the CEO of a major company dealing directly with a customer's needs. Quote, it's way out of the norm, he told The Atlantic. He said he could imagine only 2 possible explanations. One, which he deemed unlikely, is that the warden has a special relationship with Maxwell, or 2, that she was directed by superiors to provide leniency to the convicted sex offender. And then he went on to say, that would be really concerning. It is concerning, isn't it? Now, we just have a little bit more insight into what's the state of Maxwell, and then I'm going to get into the reporter giving more information about this on CNN. But it says here, the food is legions better. The place is clean. The staff responsive and polite. And she says it's safer too. You're not allowed to steal, beat people up, and attack them with homemade weapons. She felt she was finally on the right side of, quote, Alice in Wonderland's looking glass. She wrote to her brother, I am much happier. I just do not understand. It's just crazy. First off, this is such a separate thing. But prison systems should just be more humane. Like, that shouldn't be the case. I just don't think that should be the case for anyone. I know prison's supposed to be a punishment, but it should still be like living conditions. That's a whole separate thing. But secondly, I just don't understand why someone so connected to the crimes of these like child sex crimes is getting all the special treatment. I just can't understand it. Maybe you have a sense of why this is happening. Now, Caitlin Collins actually interviewed this reporter, and here's what he had to say. He gave a little bit more insight about these emails.
And as you said, I was somewhat surprised that the tone of these emails, I was expecting some type of sadness, if not for the victims, maybe for her own situation. This is someone who's had quite a fall from grace. But she's really quite cheerful in these messages. She's optimistic. She's really grateful and reveling in her much improved conditions in this prison. And so I found that rather remarkable.
So when you go through the emails, I mean, she talks about the perks that she gets, basically. What stood out to you from what she was telling people about how different it is than the one she was in, most crucially, before she sat down and spoke to the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche? That's
right, and that's an important part of the timeline. She really sings the praises of this facility, and you mentioned part of it, but she talks about how the food is much better. She said, I haven't seen or heard the usual foul language or screaming accompanied by threats leveled at inmates by anyone. I haven't seen a single fight, drug deal, passed out person, or naked inmate. And importantly, she also describes the rather unusual services that the warden of this prison is providing to her, ensuring special access for her visitors in a unique part of the prison, and also playing this very odd kind of go-between role for her, between her and members of her legal team, emailing and scanning documents. And I talked to defense attorneys in the area, seasoned defense attorneys, including some who've represented clients who've been held in this facility. And they said that this is just so outside of the norm, that there's about 650 women being held at this facility. The warden is just not involved in individual cases like this. So what one defense attorney said to me is there's two possible explanations. One is that this warden has some sort of special, feelings or loyalty toward Ghislaine Maxwell, which seems rather unlikely. I mean, this random warden at this random facility in Texas, or that she's received some sort of instructions from higher ups, members of the Justice Department, members of the Trump administration, to provide for Maxwell in a unique way. And that would be rather concerning.
Yeah, it is concerning. And it's also, but I kind of feel like it's also just more evidence between this and the fact that Donald Trump fought for as hard and long, he wasted so much political capital to try to keep the Epstein files from being released. It just feels like, come on, man. Come on. We're not dumb. We're not dumb. That's kind of how I feel about the whole thing. Now, we are also learning, too, that Drop Site News has a new tranche of some 18,000 Epstein emails. And so those are probably being looked through right now, and they are going to be released, I can only imagine, within a few days to weeks. It says here the Yahoo emails were provided to DropSite by the nonprofit whistleblower site Distributed Denial of Secrets, which received a copy. So look out for that. Now, I just want to remind you, Kyle Kulinski reminded me when I saw this that they are purging these files. So maybe the emails are the most believable thing we're going to have. But here is what he had to say.
Even in that case, I regret to inform you, you're not going to get to see the full unredacted Epstein files. It's not going to happen. And here's why. We already know there was a DOJ whistleblower who came out and said, and James O'Keefe has the literal video of it, they said, look, we're purging all of the stuff about Trump and Republicans from the Epstein files and leaving in the stuff about liberals and Democrats. And so they're cleaning up those files. Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, came out yesterday and said they're cleaning the files. They're purging all the stuff of Trump and Republicans out of there.
Yeah, so we are going to have to just be very aware that when things do start coming out, that we look at it with a very, very, very critical eye. Because I don't trust anything coming out of this Department of Justice or the FBI, to be completely clear. But we are going to keep following this because Donald Trump doesn't want us to. If you want to follow with us, hit like, subscribe so you see this more often, and I'll see you soon. Bye.